Well, welcome to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. That dashing young man there on the screen with me is Jeremy Shulman, the new head coach at UT Martin. And thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. Congratulations. This is kind of like, it might not be the zenith of your life, but it's a pretty high point, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just head over heels. First off, Harry, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be on here, but to have the opportunity here at UT Martin is just, it's a dream come true. I'm a Tennessee guy. I'm born and raised in Nashville. Obviously, I've been a college coach for 17 years, 14 as a head coach at Eastern Florida. I got my start back in the early 2000s, recruiting a lot of West Tennessee players. I've coached a number of guys that played at UT Martin, coached guys from Martin, Westview High School. To have the opportunity to be back here in Martin, Tennessee, and leading the Skyhawks, it is a dream come true.
So I was reading through, and then I watched your press conference and all that, trying to get a hold of, like, who is this guy that's coming on to take on the Skyhawks? 346 wins, over 80% winning percentage. That's nothing to sneeze at. East Florida College in what is a great junior college conference that you were a part of. So this is not even a great record in an okay league. Like, you have been at one of the elite junior college conferences and doing that. Talk a little bit about that league and your time at East Florida.
You hit it on the head. Unbelievable league. NBA players coming out of that league. Every team in it is deep with great coaches, is deep with great talent, great schemes. Again, to be in it for 14 years, I take a lot of pride in that league and just seeing what those guys do at the next level. And when I see guys like Keon Ellis with Sacramento Kings and Chris Duarte with the Pacers and DeMoy Hodge with the Lakers, and it's fantastic. And so we had a lot of success. We won 11 conference championships in the last 12 years. Obviously, you talked about our wins, but I think it helped prepare to be at this level because we've been able to coach a whole lot of Division I players the entire time we were there. So it's exciting for the new challenge now, but love where I was at.
Talk about the recruiting process. Their recruiting of you or your recruiting of them. How did you end up at Tennessee Martin?
Well, when athletic director Kurt McGuffin first reached out, and by the way, he is the best athletic director in the country any level. He's unbelievable, which is one of the big draws for me on taking this job. And, I've been very choosy about when I was going to ever leave Eastern Florida because it is a great job. Right on the beach. It's a great place to live. It's a great league, as you talked about. So, the draw of having, Kurt McGuffin as athletic director, Chancellor Freeman as our administrative lead, unbelievable alignment with administration and coaches here at UT Martin. Obviously, for me, being a Tennessee guy, recruiting so many West Tennessee guys, it was, again, it's just a perfect fit as far as that goes. But, when Kurt reached out to me about the opportunity here and, we talked so much about the similarities of what I've had to do for 14 years and now what Division I coaches are having to learn to manage with the transfer portal.
Exactly.
Like, hey, that's old news to me. We're used to filling 12, 15 roster spots a year. So, I do think hopefully, obviously Ryan Ritter before me did an incredible job and he was a junior college coach. Hopefully I can build on what Ritter has done and have immense success here at UTM. And
You froze on me. I wonder if you'll come back.
Okay, I might have lost you for a second.
You froze up on me there for a minute. You were talking about Coach Ritter, who was a junior college guy as well, and wanting to build on some of the success there. I was just a gigantic Ryan Ritter fan, and sorry to leave him, see him leave, but excited for his departure, for where he's going. I lost it. Very good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to. You might have to put pause for a second. I'm going to try a different office real quick, unless that messes up the background. The Wi-Fi. I'm still learning all the Wi-Fi ins and outs, and I don't have my hard line on yet. Which would cure all these issues. But we hit the ground running, so I don't even have my email address here yet. So,
but
I know this office is where we do all of our recruit Zooms. I probably should just come here in the first place.
There you go.
All right.
So the recruiting process, take me behind the curtain a little bit, though. So they give you a call and you say, well, yeah, but I need $18 million. Take me into into the process. Maybe they're talking to 3 people at one time, or maybe they only called you. I mean, just give us a little bit of the behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I don't know all the behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sure that there was a lot of interest in this job, and I know I made it to the final 3, which I was very happy to be. But again, this was a job I really, really wanted. This isn't a job I just wanted to be a finalist, and I've been a finalist for other Division I jobs before, and been the bridesmaid. I wanted to be the bride this time. So, it was just, every time I interviewed, whether it was phone, Zoom, or in person with, with Kurt or Chancellor Freeman, it felt like home. We just really hit it off, and again, just the values that I think we both have. The type of people we want to bring into the program. I just thought there was great alignment. I just thought there was great connection there, and I'd like to think that was kind of the deciding factor, because I know there were former Division I head coaches going after this job. There were obviously high major assistants going after this job, and a lot of great candidates, because it is a phenomenal job, especially with what Ryan Ritter did previously. And so,
you mentioned having to rebuild a roster every year at the junior college level. What I call now the portal pandemic. Like, it's just everything is bizarre, and you had to do that every year. But the monetary side makes it significantly different, I would assume.
Yes, absolutely. Navigating NIL and all that is definitely something that we're working on some NIL stuff. But our selling point to recruits is very simple. Okay. We want guys to come in here and invest in their future, not just what they're going to get on the front end from a program. Because as we both know, half the time what guys are being offered is not actually legitimate money. It's just some fake money that's being offered. And if they go and produce, they get a lot of it. And if they don't produce, they're not going to see any of it. And, so it's very easy for coaches to take the easy way out and just say, hey, we're going to give you 75 grand. Come play here. We're going to give you 100 grand. We're not doing all that. We're going to come. We want guys to come here, invest in their future. We're going to be the best player development program in the country. That's going to be one of our big MOs. And we want guys to come here, get better, and align themselves with our system, which is a very European-based system. It's a very EuroLeague style system. And we want to get guys as prepared as possible for the professional level, so they can increase their long-term career earnings, not just what can they take from school A or school B that's trying to put money out there. We'll try to get into the NIL more and more, but it's going to be more in retention. We're going to do it to take care of our own, instead of we got these guys that bust their butts every day and practice every day, in games. But no, we're just going to go pay someone else to come in and take their spot. I don't like that. We're going to try to do it for retention, to keep our guys, happy, to keep our guys here rather than having to leave. I just want to take care of our own. We're a family atmosphere in everything we do. I tell our players, the first thing I want to do is love them. I want to pour my heart and soul into them. I want to welcome them into my family. They're going to get to know my 5-year-old, my 2-year-old, and my 6-month-old, and they're going to be at the gym all the time. So, we're trying to approach it from a different way in this day and age of portal madness, and everything's transactional. We want it to be about culture and about family, about, love and caring plus development.
You talked about that a little bit in your press conference, and I want to dig into that a little bit more. I think you mentioned 62 Division I players came through your program, and your ability to recruit because of your connections, both in that junior college world and with those Division I coaches that were scouting in your league and so forth. Let's talk about how that gives you kind of a leg up. Even though you're getting the job here the first week of April, you can really hit the ground running, can't you?
Absolutely. And I do think that is, again, one of the benefits of hiring a junior college coach. And I hope I can continue to pave the way so more great junior college coaches can get opportunities like myself. But we're going to recruit high school guys. We're going to recruit high school guys because there's great high school players not getting recruited right now because of portal madness. We're going to obviously recruit high-level junior college players, and especially from the state of Florida, but from all over because of the connections that we have. We're going to recruit guys in the portal, but we're going to recruit a lot of guys that we already had prior relationships with, guys that we even knew out of high school, knew from junior college that went Division I. And so having all those connections, plus we like to recruit a lot of international guys as well. That's been kind of a niche for us. That's been very successful. And, now you see it more common even at the NCAA level, but we've been doing that for years. And I think that's a really nice little pipeline that kind of fits our system and what we do.
People watching this are going to want to know how does he play? What's their style? And you talked about speed and space. Keep me on the offensive side first.
So on offense, kind of a couple different concepts in there. Speed and space is the main thing we talk to our guys about. We want to play fast. We want to cut hard. We want to drive hard. But we also want to create unbelievable space for our players. We don't want to run a ton of set plays. We want to teach our guys how to play. We want them to have a counter for anything that a defense throws at them. And I think by keeping it, I don't want to say simple, but not running 10,000 set plays where I don't want our guys memorizing patterns. I want them understanding and reading and processing what the defense is throwing at you. It's like I'm a big football guy also. It's like a quarterback. You can give him all the set plays in the world, but if he can't process what the linebacker's doing, are they seeing a shift here? What can the quarterback do to see and then be able to pick the right read from it, hit the right receiver, and have the right check down at times? And so that's what we teach our guys constantly in what we do. And a lot of stuff we do is European based and EuroLeague based. And I think that's one reason our guys have had great success at the European and professional levels. I've had 41 former players play professional basketball just since I've been in Eastern Florida. And they have great success because I think they're already getting prepared, for the professional level.
You talked earlier about development, and you talked about that in your press conference as well, about guys getting better, maybe in their character and all that, and also on the floor. And you talked about culture, and that is obviously the buzzword in college athletics. We have this culture. Define for us, how do you build that culture? How do you create, build on the culture you want to see there for the Skyhawk program?
So it's funny you said that because it almost drives me nuts now. So I almost hate using, the culture word because everyone uses it. And so, let's be honest, it's ridiculous. There's so many, if everyone uses that word and most don't even uphold it, it gives the word no meaning. So I'm probably going to have to figure out a really cool new word instead of it. But
you got to talk to a marketing company.
Very good call. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but no, first and foremost, it's so important to get the right people in the building. That's the biggest thing. I've learned that from my mentors, from other great coaches. It doesn't matter how hard you work on culture. If you have the wrong people in the building, you're just working really hard for nothing at that point. So we want to bring in really high character guys. We want to bring in very unselfish human beings. I think it's important when we have a guy on a visit to see how they treat the checkout lady at Walmart or a waiter at a restaurant, because that stuff carries over. I want all of our guys to be the kindest possible to the custodians on campus. And that to me is how you, first and foremost, you're not even building culture at that point. You're getting the right people in the building that uphold your culture. The second part is accountability. You have to set the standards. So this is who we are and this is what we believe in. And unfortunately, at times punish anybody who's not upholding what our culture is. And we believe in love. We believe in kindness. To everyone in the community, but especially within your own team as well. And we want to have one unified goal. Whatever our goals are each year, we want to all be on the same page on that. And so we've had a lot of success building really good culture. Okay, at Eastern Florida and now at UT Martin, because I think it's so important of getting the right people in that believe in that same vision. And we tell recruits, if this doesn't sound like something you want to align with, don't come here. I'll save you the time. I'll save you the flight to Martin, Tennessee. We want the right people in the building. So that's the biggest part of it.
Top 8 in the nation in defense for the last 11 years as well. You talked a little bit about matchup zones and different things. I love a guy that will talk about the defensive side a little bit and not just say we're going to be good at it. Tell us a little bit about your defensive scheme.
So I'm very, very excited about what we do defensively. And so I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit one of those paranoid coaches also. I'm not sure how deep I can get into it today, just in case there's some other great OVC coaches watching this. But, just all I'll say, just to give a little hint to anyone that wants to come watch us, we're very unique in what we do defensively and how we guard the ball, how we guard off the ball, how we rotate, and then we mix that in with some matchup zone as well. It's very unique. We have to recruit players that can process it, players that can really understand the game, players with a really good feel. Because if you don't have a great feel, it does take a long time to pick up our concepts defensively. And I'll put it this way. Last year, we ran 0% of all of our possessions defensively in zone. 0%. Now, this year, we'll run a little bit of matchup as well. I hired 2 great matchup zone coaches. That kind of aligns with what we do. I've had numerous Division I coaches in our gym watching games, watching practices, numerous that have come out and said, Coach, I love your zone. Can you tell me what you're running? Because they can't tell that we're running zone or man. They have no idea what we're running. And so that's about as deep as I can get into
there
today.
You go.
Off the air, I could talk for hours and hours about it. But I think it's a unique way of doing things. And I think it's been very successful for us.
Look forward to seeing that on the floor. So this is the most probing question I'm going to ask you today. Your third child is the girl, right?
No, first child's a girl.
And her name is?
Her name is Mila.
So I don't understand. You named the boys Jordan and Giannis, but you didn't name her after a basketball player. So the probing question is, do you not like your daughter? I mean, that's the question.
So I love my daughter, and so much so that Mila, her name in Latvian means love. So my wife is from Latvia. She was a big-time athlete. She was an all-conference volleyball player at UCF and played professional volleyball in Greece. And so it was important to, especially for a daughter, that we had a Latvian name for her to start with. And to have Mila, and it means love, and it was kind of special to us. But yeah, definitely a basketball family to have.
Jordan. No Latvian basketball player you named her after. I was appalled. I was really, I was worried, about her. They talked to you, maybe it was the press conference or whatever. I love this response. In this portal pandemic and taking over a new program, and you are going home at some level, you're from Tennessee, but there will be challenges. The OVC is a league that I have great love and affection and respect for, but there are challenges involved. And one of your responses to about the challenges was you talked about when you first went to Eastern Florida and you didn't even have a wooden floor. Let's talk about the development of a program kind of from the grassroots, although there's a foundation to build on there at Tennessee Martin. Talk about building from the bottom up.
That's a great question. And so this is actually a little bit different spot here because Ritter's done such a great job already.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to build from. So my goal is kind of taking a little bit of a tangent from your question, but my goal is, like, I've got so much passion in this place. I think this can be the best mid-major in the country, not just in the OVC. I know it'll take some time, but my goal is to have Ritter as the Dan Monson at Gonzaga, and to take what a great coach, because Ritter is a great coach, and to take what he's done and just try to take it to another level, because he's laid the groundwork. I think the UTM logo, I think the Skyhawk logo resonates now in the recruiting community. People know how great of a job that Ritter did. And so, I'm looking at a lot of parallels on that. How can we copy some of that? What were some of the things that Mark Few did? I'm not saying we can overnight become the next Gonzaga.
Sure.
I mean, we'll probably pick last in the league in the preseason. But that is my goal, is to take what Ritter did and to try to emulate whatever we can to take it to another level. Because in my mind, between the facilities, the administration, the financial setup, the community that loves their basketball, I don't see why this can't become the next, mid-major powerhouse, here in the South. I'm that passionate about it. I mean, it's UT Martin is an unbelievable spot, an unbelievable opportunity, and we're trying to recruit as such as well.
When I listened to you talk at your press conference, you were quoting Pat Summitt, you were quoting Coach Popovich. You're a student of the game as well, and I loved how you didn't just say things, but you were giving credit to the people that you learned it from. Building, learning, hearing, listening, and all that to the other people is super important, isn't it?
Oh, it's so much. I mean, I've been coaching, crazy enough, I've been coaching 26 years, going on my 27th year. I've been coaching since 1998 when I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
And I'm not that old. But I mean, I'm always learning. I mean, even some of the stuff we did this past year at Eastern Florida was different than I had done in previous years. And some of it I'm going to do the rest of my coaching career, but always want to learn. I mean, I don't know. I know probably 5% of the game right now. And I think I'm a good coach, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry to learn. I'm hungry to develop. When I go to the Final Four, I'm not sure because of everything going on now if I'll go this year, but when I go to the Final Four, I don't do it for the social networking. I do it because I want to go to the coaching clinics all 3 days. I want to just be a student. I want to sit there with all the high school coaches. I want to sit there with all the assistant coaches, all the high school assistant coaches, and just be hungry to learn. I mean, I think that's the only way. I think if you're not, like I tell our guys too, as players, I want to do the same thing as a coach. If you're not trying to improve, if you're not trying to learn, if you're not hungry, you're going to get passed over. You're going to get passed by. And so I'm on that's one thing I love about basketball, by the way, is that it's an endless
Always evolving. Yeah.
always evolving, always learning. So it's a fun journey. It's not the destination here. It really is the journey. And in basketball, like I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited to get done with our recruiting over the next month. So then I can spend this summer getting back to just learning again. And I think it's fascinating learning about the game. I really do.
I'll let you go after this. You have to build a coaching staff, and I don't know if you've been able to land any of those people just yet. We could break news here. I could, be a big, all of a sudden I would be a superhero on social media. But talk about what you're looking for in coaches, and if you guys have hired anybody, you could tell us that as well. But what are you looking for in a coaching staff?
So I think we have the best coaching staff in the country. It is unbelievable. I don't think I'm allowed to announce any of them yet. I do think Jeff
just
Goodman,
dissing me like that. I don't understand.
Somehow Jeff Goodman, who's obviously very good at finding info,
Yes.
I think he tweeted some stuff out yesterday because I got some calls. I'm like, how does he figure this out? I have no idea. Like, he did the same thing on my hiring about 30 minutes before the press conference. And I'm like, how is this guy doing this? But so I don't think I can comment on him yet, but we do have our staff decided on.
Cool.
And Harry, it's an unbelievable staff. And without saying names, I can describe just some generalities.
Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate
it. Includes a high major assistant coach who's been a coach for 34 years. It includes a former Division I head coach. It includes one of the best player development guys, of big guys in the country, and you can see over the last couple of years. One of the best ops guys in the country, a big-time player development point guard coach, and another international coach who just has unbelievable ties and both recruiting ties, development, et cetera. And so I wanted to fill anything that I thought that was either a gap, a hole, just something I wanted to get better at. And so I wanted to hit on point guard development, wanted to hit on wing development, I wanted to hit on forward development. I wanted to hit on, obviously, guys that could recruit. I wanted to hit on guys that had international ties as well. I wanted guys that have experience. And even though I've coached for 14 years as a head coach, I don't want to just have a bunch of yes men. So I wanted a former Division I head coach on the staff. I wanted a former, head coach who's been a high major assistant, who's coached for 34 years. I wanted a great brain trust. And the other thing, they're all just great people. They're all loyal. They're all hardworking. And so, honestly, and there were some great coaches that I had to not take, which was very difficult because I wanted to take about 30. But honestly, I couldn't be happy with this staff. And whenever we're allowed to announce, I'll make sure Ron Rickman sends you a text a couple minutes before the press release, so you can still get it ahead of time.
I appreciate that.
Unbelievable staff.
And finally, you've mentioned mentors and people that have influenced your life. Tell us a couple of those people. Maybe it's people that have been real hands-on, or it might be people from far away that you've just learned from.
So the one I really want to bring up is Tom Wasden. Tom Wasden was Artis Gilmore's coach at Jacksonville University in the 70s.
Wow.
He ended up he got out of coaching and became a businessman and lives in Brevard County and right near Melbourne, Florida. All right, well, what Melbourne is in. So when I got the job 14 years ago, I knew Coach Wasden had retired in town. I knew he was a former Division I head coach. Went to the national championship game in 1970 as the small school ever to go to the NCAA title game. Lost to John Wooden's UCLA teams. So I became friends with Coach Wasden. And we would have breakfast once a week for 14 years.
Get out.
Yeah.
I love that.
You want to talk about an amazing individual. I think he's 88 right now, and he is still sharp as a tack. He's still sending me texts after every game. We talk at every breakfast, and he's giving me pointers. And it's so amazing how much I can still learn from Coach Wasden. Just a brilliant man. A very kind man, a brilliant coach. And so he's been an unbelievable mentor for me and an unbelievable friend. Honestly, there were a lot of people in Florida that it was going to be sad leaving. My grandmother is actually randomly enough actually in Melbourne, Florida. And like way before I took the job, 30 years before I took the job, she's in Melbourne, Florida. One of my assistant coaches who's 80 years old, I had to leave behind. He's staying in Melbourne with his wife. But Coach Watson's right up there as one of the hardest reasons to leave, Melbourne. And we'll still keep in touch. Maybe I can just Zoom him when I'm eating at McDonald's here, and he's at Merritt Island Pancake House. And
there you go.
Or Muddy's. Those are 2 spots. So, but that was a great mentor for me, and a great person, just such a great basketball mind still.
Appreciate your time today. Wish you the best of luck. I'm a big Skyhawk fan and care about what's going on in the OVC. So appreciate your time today. And yeah, really just the best of luck for you guys.
Well, thank you so much again. Anytime you want me on, I'm available. I'll make it work.
Appreciate that. That's Jeremy Shulman. He is the new head coach at UT Martin, and the Skyhawks are going to build a whole new roster like lots of the teams in the OVC and MVC are doing these days with the transfer madness. And but we expect great things out of the Skyhawk program. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for being a part of our podcast. Remember, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.